I'm just going to say hi. I just wanted to say thank you very much to Dennis and for IDCEE for inviting me here. We're going to run a panel any second now on the Valley, and but I just wanted to say TechCrunch really wants to cover your stories. I'm based in London, but I fly all over Europe, and I really want to get out to the Ukraine and to Russia and to all the CE countries much more over the next year. So if you're having an event, or if you're doing something and you're quite interested to have TechCrunch pop in and say hi and cover it, then just come and say hi, and we can talk. I think just want to say quickly before we start the panel that I think it's an exciting time in Europe. I think that London is a great meeting place. I know it's a little bit further away than next door, but I'd love to host you guys at London. We've put up a project called Tech Hub, TechHub.com, techhub.com, which is a co-working space. It's quite a big space, and it's kind of like a club for entrepreneurs and a club for startups. We'd love to host you there and have coffee and hang out and talk about startups. So without further ado, we're going to go over to our panel. Please welcome our panel, everybody. So I'm extremely unprepared, so I'm going to ask everybody to introduce themselves.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Hi. My name is Anton Zubenko. I represent Invisible CRM, the CIS-originated startup, which is nowadays a technology partner of top industry vendors like Oracle, EMC, Amdocs, and the others. I'm extremely happy to be here and help you to get through the discussion. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you. Next.
Hi, everyone. I'm from Italy. I'm Teodoro D'Ambrosio. I'm an entrepreneur, and I have 2 entrepreneurial experience that started in Europe. And I also know very well the Valley, so I think I can be useful in this panel.
Thank you. Phillip.
All right. I'm Phillip, here from SeedCamp from London. We're a micro-seed investment fund. We run events all over the world, basically, to find the greatest early-stage startups. We get them to London for 3 months, invest in them a small amount of money, mentor them, and pair them with great venture capitalists who usually do the follow-on funding. And since Europe doesn't have the real Silicon Valley in that sense, we're trying to do a model that works very well for Europe. So we try to do a very networked, try to take a very networked approach to the whole thing. And so far it works well. We've got the first exit a couple of weeks ago, and we've got in total 33 companies in our portfolio. And yep, that's basically it.
Thanks.
Hi, my name is Anna Dvornikova. I'm an angel investor and the head of the huge nonprofit association in the Silicon Valley called the Entrepreneurs Club. I'm also the founder of the Silicon Valley Open Doors Technology Investment Conference. So I invest in the Silicon Valley as well as in Russia, and hopefully we'll have some investments in Ukraine.
Great. So the topic of this panel is, and we're going to kind of do this real quick, and also we'll take some questions from you guys if you have any, and is being an entrepreneur in Silicon Valley and what it's like to try and make that transition from being a European to the Valley, and to get some ideas from you guys and get some tips. Now, one of the things I think is really interesting about the Valley is that they have this culture of sharing, so that you can go to an event or something, and all of a sudden you can walk away with lots of contacts and ideas. Is that something that you guys have experienced?
Okay. First of all, I think everybody needs to realize that Valley is probably like a gold mine. There is gold, but you need to find it. So it wouldn't be like a fairy tale about Pinocchio, but you dig one coin, and overnight you find a tree full of gold. So it's a hard work, and once you get there, you need to find your own way.
So it's not the streets are not paved with gold, right?
Yeah, nobody's waiting for you there. Competition is really high, and you need to be really tough and focused.
Anyone else want to pick up on that?
Well, I think, yeah, for sure there is a big competition, but there are also more opportunity. When I started the startup in Europe, and well, in Italy, most of the problem were about resources. So, like people, there were not enough people experienced. So I'm talking about engineer.
Hold your mic close there.
Oh, sorry, engineer, technical, and another big problem, and it's more a cultural problem, is like motivation. And for example, I had really to work hard to find people that were motivated enough to work in a startup, because like our culture, like it's to work like for big companies, to have your normal vacation and not to work hard on the night and to believe in it. And it's easy to find, and it's much easier to find in the valley. You can find a lot of skilled people that, if believe in the project, they will work hard. They really believe in it.
I see. So there's something about the cultural differences, in the sense that it's still the case that a lot of people coming out of university in Europe actually want to go into a big company, don't want to join startups necessarily. Would you agree,
Probably,
Anna?
yeah, add that I agree with the speakers that it's really hard. There is a lot of competition, but also if you're trying hard enough, you succeed, right? So, and that's why we are there in the valley to help you guys out. If you have really good project and if it's worthwhile showing it to investors, just send us information, ask us to help you out, and we will be happy to put you in touch with investors. People are very open in the valley, and so if you come and go, attend certain events, you will get a lot of contacts, which is true. And people are trying to help out and basically ask nothing in return. They're just happy to help you in hope that, you will help them one day in the future. And that is the culture of the Silicon Valley. That is how it works.
So let me ask Philip, you're an entrepreneur from Europe, you've got off the plane, you're at SFO, you get a hire car, you drive into town, you get into your hotel, dump your bags. What do you do first? Do you go to a conference? How do you get into the valley? How do you start?
I think it's very good to get in touch with entrepreneurs from your own country that did go to the valley, maybe struck it successful or maybe not so much, and get into, get into the scene, because that's the same thing you would do in Europe when you're new to the startup world. What do? You go to events, you meet people at maybe an open coffee or something like that, and then you get to know the people that are high up in the food chain, and step by step you get meetings up there. So if you have contacts to VCs that come from your country that work in the Silicon Valley, I'm very sure that everybody, if I were in the Silicon Valley and someone from Germany, I'm from Germany, would come over and ask me to take a meeting, I would say yes, or at least I would try to make some contacts to the relevant people. So I think
using the expatriate community?
Definitely, yes.
And there are tons of events in the valley. You just go on, any website and search for the events, and you will see lots and lots of events happening basically, every day, except probably Monday. Monday is a partners meeting, and Monday is a hard day. But then, other than that, there are tons of events.
What's the website to get on if you want to go to an event in the valley?
Just go on Google. Just look for events. Eventbrite.com. Just Craigslist.
I hear Plancast is a good one. Plancast.
Yeah.
Eventbrite. I think there are some events on TechCrunch, right? Announced. No. Yeah, but you can always Churchill Club, all sorts of SVOD.org. Sorry.
There's also a really good email list called Startup Digest, which lists events. They've launched in a couple of cities in Europe as well, but they started in San Francisco. Any other tips?
I would agree with what you have said, as people said, because I think you need to socialize and PR yourself as much as possible at the first step in Valley, because the word of mouth and connections is really what make things happen in Valley. If you come there and you are all alone, you can package your baggage and go home. If you don't build a relationship, you will not succeed there.
Another tip I would probably give is that, don't be afraid to talk to people and share your idea and ask for the feedback, because again, people like to help out there, and so they will be, even if they cannot connect you with some investors, we will be happy to provide the feedback, and quite often it's extremely valuable. Then don't be afraid to fail. This is the culture of the valley. You know, you fail once, you fail twice, but it's not bad in a way. This shows that maybe you will not fail the third time. You know, you're now experienced. You will avoid the mistakes that you already made.
I think that's another thing is that they really don't mind people who fail. That's actually a badge of honor, isn't it? You were going to say something.
Yeah, I think one good way to go about it is not to go alone. So find a group of people, organize a trip, right? Spring break in California, and get 10 startups from your city or from your country or from wherever together, go over, and people are more likely to meet you because they meet a lot of people at the same time. You know, maybe one guy has a connection here, one guy has a connection there. So that's one way to get, to get in there and not be alone.
Funny you should mention spring break because South by Southwest is on around that time, isn't it? So South by Southwest is a big US event, lots of geeks at South by Southwest Interactive. It's 10,000 people, isn't it, in Austin, Texas? So it's lots of parties, much more social, isn't it? It's a good way of getting in. It's basically the Silicon Valley on holiday, on vacation. What other tips? What do you say to somebody when you're maybe you're at an event, you're having a drink and you're talking to somebody? How do you have a conversation? Do you pitch them an idea, or do you what do you talk about, the weather? What do you do? What's the good topics of conversation?
I guess the question you ask is, what do you do? And then people start saying, what do they do? And then if it takes them a couple of sentences and that's interesting, you have more questions. If they keep on going, then you lose the interest and basically go away. There are tons of people at the event, and so you don't stand and talk to the person for half an hour, you just...
I think this is a really good point, because, I mean, I'm British, and we love to stand for ages talking to somebody.
Americans are very blunt, very direct, very quick. What do you do? Oh, great idea, let's discuss.
The Americans
what is
much
your business
quicker.
card? Next one.
Yeah, and then they move. They say, "Nice to meet you."
Then at the end of the event, you basically have tons of business cards. And
I thought it was rude when I first thought it, but it's not rude. It's just the culture.
Yeah. And I think this is truly eligible to ask a stranger what he's doing in Valley. People like this kind of conversations, questions, because who knows? Maybe you're their next partner.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I think you should not jump into your pitch right away. I think you should make it very conversational and don't take your 60-second pitch and tell it to everybody. Make it a conversation, make it something, you can start with a sentence, what are you doing? And then you can, if the other person is interested, you can go on. Because if you start right into a pitch, everybody's going to be like, all right, not going to talk to this guy again.
You have to act like a human being, right?
Yeah. Well, feel a moment, right?
You know what, I heard a tip from an entrepreneur in the Valley, actually. He said that people love, one of the big cultural things which binds people together to an extent is movies. So the latest movies, did you see the latest Iron Man, or did you see the latest, whatever, sci-fi movie?
Gadgets. You got
Gadgets.
you got an iPad. It's over now, but I think a couple of months ago that was a good conversation.
Samsung Galaxy Tab.
Oh yeah.
So you can share on gadgets. Right, I'm going to ask our organisers how much longer we have. Organisers, hello. How much longer? 3 minutes.
Okay.
Go.
One more tip, like Phillip correctly mentioned, Europeans really like to stick with each other in Valley. That's true.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Be aware of that.
Any quick questions before we shut the panel down? Who wants to go to the Valley? Hands up. Okay, why? Okay, let's do this. Who are you?
I'm once more Dmitro Potapov. I'm CEO of a global support company. So I have a short conversation with Anna yesterday. So I have made some picture, but my picture is not so clear now. Unfortunately, I have had all about your talk, but how it? Oh yes, really. The question is, who is that people who are coming there? Who is the people who are there, and how it all looks like? It looks like this event, or it looks like something else.
So, I mean, yeah, they have conferences in America, right? Yeah. They have conferences in America, yes. They also they do have like kind of networking parties where you just hang around and have a beer, you know, with people and chat. But it's, you know, we all do this. Any other questions? There was a couple of hands. No? We're all good? So everybody knows how to do this? Good. Okay, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, say thank you so much to our panel. And I'm going to hand over now to our MC. Sir, thank you very much.
Yep.